When I was younger, I wanted to be a monkey. I climbed trees and gathered small plants and seeds from the garden. I used to catch dragonflies with my bare hands and fish for tadpoles in dark lakes. Almost every weekend, my parents would drive us out to my grandpa's farm, where I spent most of my time running around outside with her 7 dogs. I remember one dog and his big black eyes that always stared up at me. What was he thinking? I always wondered. What was his brain communicating through those absorbing eyes? I was fascinated by living things and how different animals live their lives. How the dogs knew exactly when they were going to be fed. Why ants marched in single file lines. How do parrots learn to speak like humans? Questions as simple as what the living things around me were thinking turned over in my head constantly. The body's functioning all starts in the brain, where tiny neurons and chemicals interact to produce thoughts, thinking, and both conscious and unconscious decisions, acting as the control center of all bodily function. I'm a neuroscience major. I think you now know why. I can't stop thinking about thinking. My grandpa's dogs had a way of speaking without words, communicating without conversation, understanding what I told them, simply responding to the calling of their names. I remember wondering what it was that they were thinking. What the neurons and chemicals in their brains were interpreting and firing back to the world, and how this whole process even occurred. They were intelligent animals that had functioning brains like humans. I became a curious child, always thinking about how and why people acted in certain ways. What interested me most was where these processes began. What was happening deep within, past the naked eye's visible capability? Are the mind and brain the same thing? Is the brain a machine? How does thinking even happen? The neuroscience course researches and intends to unravel the intricate complexities of brain functions, which includes the interaction between behavior, cognition, and higher brain functions, as well as neurological disorders, neuropsychiatric disorders, and the treatment for these illnesses. A few years ago, my grandpa got diagnosed with Parkinson's, a disease where the brain's connections to the body begin to fail. Vital nerve cells die. Slowly the muscles in the body stop receiving chemical signals and lose their ability to function properly. The beautiful part of this dreadful situation was the way my grandpa's 7 dogs responded to his illness. They knew he was sick and spent incredible amounts of time by his side. Their brains were working. Their behavior was changing. All living things behave according to the brain's incredible network of thought process and decision-making. Before, the brain's function was only a fascinating mechanism, sparking an interest in me on how it works. But suddenly, it had become an emotional interest, a desire to learn more about why terrible things happen because of failing brain cells, how behavior changes according to different scenarios and situations. I'm a neuroscience major because, even more so now, I can't stop thinking about thinking.